Namaste and good morning. Welcome all of you to the mental health talk show Inside Out, the seventh episode, and we are entering in the seventh week of Mental Health Awareness Program 2023, a joint initiative by Punekar News and Anhar. First of all, I would like to again take this opportunity for all kind of support we are receiving. Would like to express gratitude for all the best wishes that we are receiving and the blessings we all have of you. So it's an interesting thing, an interesting topic today. It is not about a specific gender, it's not about a specific person, but yes, we are talking about a holistic perspective today. First of all, I would like to start with how the evolution and the importance of women health in general and women's mental well-being specifically. Before that, I would like to welcome our guests, our expertise, the professionals today we have with us. First of all, I would like to welcome Dr. Anuradha Tikhe. Welcome, Anuradha. We are glad to have you us here on the show. And she is a homeopathic doctor, a certified lactation consultant, and a prenatal and postnatal consultant, and a yoga therapist. She has been uh, she has been there with practicing with prominent hospital and gynecologist in the city, and she has been in this practice since last decade. Welcome, Anuradha. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We have our next guest, Apoorva. The introduction would be like, she's a daughter, she's a mother, and she's a wife. And above all, she is also a senior product manager at a prominent MNC, a prominent corporate. So she's definitely going to give us an insight, about the working women specifically, what challenges are there at workplace, and how to juggle between this work life and personal life. So welcome, Apoorva. Welcome to the show. Apoorva, I think your mic is on mute. If you can just unmute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
fantastic. Women, when we talk about women, we think as the process of evolution, we think as a process, a specific gender, but there are a lot of things when we say women, specifically when it comes to the health. हमारे घरों में हमने शायद से हमारे मम्मी लोगों को, हमारे माँ को हमेशा देखा हुआ है, हमें सैटरडे संडे छुट्टी होते हैं कॉर्पोरेट्स में। अभी ही हमने एक बहुत बड़ा पैंडेमिक फेस किया है सबने, और उसमें एक व्यक्ति ऐसे था जो शायद ही छुट्टी पे था, और वो हमारे घर में जो लेडीज मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम, एंड दिस इज नॉट अ थिंग टू बूस्ट अबाउट, एंड दिस इज नॉट समथिंग वी are, it's something like objectionable, but it's what it is. Yeah, the roles can be flipped, roles are exchanged now, but still there's a lot of things to do, and there's a long mile to go. So we today I welcome all of you to the show, where we'll be discussing about women's mental health and nurturing through the resilience, because it's what they do it every day. So let's start with Dr. Anuradha first. Anuradha, I would like to know, as a practitioner, as a medical practitioner, first of all, how you look at mental health in general. Your voice, mic is mute, I think. Uh,
I am a homeopathic practitioner. So, in homeopathy, we look health as a whole. The same with the WHO definition of health, that it is not just absence of disease physically, but it is uh, a mental well-being also should be there. So, when we consider health as a whole, we look at physical well-being, we look at social well-being, we look at mental well-being. So, all things are considered together. So that is my perspective towards health and towards mental health. So whenever patient comes, it's not about his physical symptoms, it is about his whole symptom. And when it is a woman, the mental health is very important because most of the trouble is there in her mind only. So when we solve the trouble in her mind, then we can solve her physical level illness also. So that is
Yeah.
my experience with mental health and women.
Okay. Apurva, coming to you, I'm more, I'm also very excited to listen from you. What exactly you see as mental health?
Okay. Uh, to be honest, when I was I was told that I will be part of the panel. The first thing I thought is like, okay, what is that I consider as a mental health? And as Anuradha rightly pointed out, for a woman, the mental health lies within. Like I remember myself one day when I was working, just thinking, what is that I'm trying to prove? But to be honest, right from very beginning, when we start studying, somehow we build like, okay, we have to prove it. I want to do something. I want to prove it. It's not like I want to do something, but I want to prove it to whom we don't know. And that's how we have been living like entire life. I don't know why it is there, but it's just there. And that really push pressure in your mind. It really push you. It is good. It is not a good push because you're just trying to prove something. Keep on doing it. But that creates a lot of pressure in our mind in every phase of life.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So, Apurva, what exactly it's that, you all need to prove it? What is that thing that, is there something substantial, or is it something that, you can state? What is it exactly?
So in every phase of your life, you have something to prove. Like for example, when you're studying, I have to prove I'm good at it. If I'm working, I need to prove I'm good at it. If I'm married, I need to prove I'm good at married. And this is like if like for example, right now I have a daughter, so I need to prove I can like work. I have a daughter. I have to prove it, but there's no one that I have to prove it to. I'm just
Yes,
for me myself or something like that.
yes,
You
yes.
cannot say no one. You have to prove it to the society. It is there at the back of your mind. Society is there. What my family will say, what the uh, relatives will say, what the neighbors will say. So this is the thing there in mind of a woman, always.
Yes, yes, yes. Uh, I would like to share one experience or an insight rather. It's, I since childhood, I have seen the rural life and I've seen the urban life as well. So I specifically remember uh, there are, see, women are one gender who goes through physical changes throughout her life. You know, the time that she goes through these changes it's way more than what man in general faces. Okay, that's more about a physical changes, but we tend to forget that those changes in your physics does have a big impact on your mental health, and
Yes.
we are here to breach that gap. We'll try to bridge that gap, how to identify what are the issues. So I specifically remember I've seen women in rural areas where we say it's a monthly period, like it's supposed to be a taboo or stigma. I'm not sure how we are taking it, but yes, when it's said it's a month period, so you sit in one corner for 2 days, 3 days. This is what rural areas I have seen. Coming to the urban setup, whatever it is, you still have to work, you still have to be there on the work, because it's about earning, it's about surviving. You don't have an option here. So these are two extremes which are there in the society. We need to actually balance it out, and we really need to talk about it. First of all, that's how it is. So Dr. Anuradha, when you're consulting, how women are comfortable to talk about this particularly, ladies कितने comfortable है आपसे ये बात करने में, या कोई इनिशियली लाइक बहुत ही यंग है, अभी अभी एक चालू हुआ है, पीरियड्स चालू हुआ है, तो उसमें हाउ डू दे कम टू यू, हाउ डू दे फेस you, and how do you consult them?
It is different with different age group. हम
Hmm.
बच्चों से स्टार्ट करते हैं.
Yes.
So when a child come for the first time,
Hmm.
or to for them it is a shock. For parents also it is a shock. And nowadays what we are seeing in the practice, that the girls are getting period quite early.
Hmm.
So for them it is a shock, and with period there are some restrictions. So again, the mental health जिसको हम बोलते हैं, जो हम कंसिडर नहीं करते बेसिकली फॉर किड्स, सो वो हैम्पर होती है, क्योंकि विथ पीरियड्स दे हैव टू रिस्ट्रिक्ट देयर प्ले, दे हैव टू बी एट वन प्लेस, और फिर उनका सारा जो भी एक्टिविटीज है उसको स्टॉप करना पड़ता है. सो इट इज लाइक why me is the big question for the girls. ठीक है, so for them it is a shock, and why me वाला एक stigma लेके आ जाते हैं कि इतने जल्दी, और why me. And this is very common in our society nowadays, because the girls are getting period at quite early age. The earliest I
Yes.
had seen is the 8 years. So eight
Okay.
year is like shock for me too, because it is the time for the girl to just play with the toys, with the, and she is having period, so it is shock for her, and her activities are stopped, कि यहाँ नहीं जाना है, साइकिल नहीं चलाना है, ये नहीं करना है, वो नहीं करना है. So she is in shock. Then the girl is not able to describe what her feelings are. Slowly we have to talk, we have to counsel her, make her understand it is normal thing. बस ये है कि आपको थोड़ा सा जल्दी स्टार्ट हुआ है. उसके बाद then it comes जैसे some ladies with the period problem, like mostly it is seen PCOD is very common between the age group, like those who started working. ठीक है, कॉलेज पास आउट है और वर्किंग है, एंड बिफोर मैरिज पीसीओडी इज वेरी कॉमन. सो दैट अगेन हैम्पर हर मेंटल हेल्थ, बिकॉज पीसीओडी इज लाइक, सबसे पहला प्रॉब्लम पीसीओडी में होता है कि वेट गेन होता है. सो सोसाइटी इज ऑल अबाउट द लुक्स फॉर गर्ल व्हेन इट कम्स. बॉयज के लिए मोटा है, काला है, इट डजेंट मैटर मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम, बट फॉर अ गर्ल, व्हेन द पीसीओडी स्टार्ट, हर साइज स्टार्ट स्लोली, शी स्टार्ट पुटिंग ऑन वेट. सो फ्लफीनेस दिखता है थोड़ा सा, और उसके बाद हिर्सुटिज्म करके एक चीज होती है, वो स्टार्ट होती है. सो दिस इज बिफोर मैरिज. सो द गर्ल्स आर मोर कंसर्न अबाउट हर लुक. तो वहां पे एक मेंटल टैबू, एक मेंटल स्टिग्मा आ जाता है उनके अंदर कि हम लोग कैसे दिखेंगे, हाउ आई विल लुक, हाउ द सोसाइटी इज गोइंग टू परसीव मी, वी कैन से. सो ये एक जो एज ग्रुप है उसमें सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम उनके लुक्स को लेके आ जाता है. देन व्हेन इट कम, मतलब ये हो गया कॉलेज पास आउट से लेके तो बिफोर मैरिज 24-25 एज वी कैन कंसिडर. सो उनके साथ पीरियड के साथ ये सारे स्टिग्मा आ जाता है एक साथ, हमारा लुक, हमारा साइज, हमारा शेप, एंड देन मैरिज. सो दोज लेडीज हु आर कमिंग पोस्ट मैरिज, उनका सबसे बड़ा कंसर्न रहता है कि इनफर्टिलिटी. एज, उस फिगर तो रहता ही है कि वी आर पुटिंग ऑन वेट, वी आर फेसिंग द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ पीसीओडी. उसके बाद हमारे साथ हमारी इनफर्टिलिटी स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. सो सबसे बड़ा स्ट्रेस जिसको हम बोल सकते हैं अनएक्सप्लेन्ड है वो, और अनट्रीटेड भी इसको बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द लेडीज दे आर नॉट गोइंग फॉर मेंटल ट्रीटमेंट के लिए, कोई नहीं जाता. They mostly go to IVF center, they go to infertility clinics, they go to gynecologist, but nobody thinks कि हमें इसके साथ हमारा मेंटल हेल्थ पे भी ध्यान देना चाहिए. सो ये जो एज ग्रुप होता है, जैसे पोस्ट मैरिज टिल दे कंसीव देयर फर्स्ट किड. सो इसके रीजन भी है, बिकॉज द फिजिकल एक्टिविटी इज लिमिटेड फॉर द गर्ल्स नाउअडेज. पास आउट होते हैं, दे स्टार्ट अ जॉब, और उनके लिए टारगेट होता है, जैसे आपने कहा कि किसको प्रूव करना है ना, तो दे स्टार्ट देयर जॉब, दे स्टार्ट अर्निंग, बट दे फॉरगेट अबाउट देयर फिजिकल एंड मेंटल हेल्थ. है ना, ये इसको कोई सोचता ही नहीं है बेसिकली. थोड़ा सा जिम और थोड़ा सा फिगर अवेयरनेस आने की वजह से अभी थोड़ा सा कॉन्शियस है लेडीज, बट मोस्ट ऑफ देम दे डोंट हैव टाइम. सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है टाइम नहीं है, और जिम जाने के लिए टाइम नहीं है. योगा तो घर पे हम कर सकते हैं, पर उसको कोई सोचता नहीं है. एंड द लास्ट थिंग हम जो सोचते हैं दैट इज ब्रीथिंग एंड मेडिटेशन, तो बहुत ही रेयरेस्ट ऑफ द रेयर है. सो इसलिए जो ये जो क्लास होता है पोस्ट मैरिज, till they conceive their first child. वो जब भी आते गायनिक के पास, they are worried about their infertility, they are worried about family pressure बहुत होता है to conceive. उसके बाद the size is the issue because of PCOD, because of infertility, and because of the treatment, hormonal treatment, they are gaining on the size.
Yes.
So they are treating their physical health and they are ignoring their mental health. तो ये हम लोग
Yes.
फर्स्ट कंसीव करने तक आ गए. फिर जो उन लोग का कंसीव कर लिए, उसके बाद फॉर दैट 9 मंथ
Hmm.
थिंकिंग कि जो मैटरनिटी लीव है पोस्ट डिलीवरी हम लेंगे. So for 9 months, they are sitting on chair table. They are doing their work, but they are ignoring their mental health, their physical health. They are not even going for a walk क्योंकि time waste हो जाता है उनके हिसाब से. So walk is ignored. A simple breathing exercise is ignored. They wake up late. जो मतलब IT का जो specifically working women का जो routine है, I'm saying, because I'm getting such type of clients, such type of patients. एंड फॉर योगा दे आर लाइक कि हमें टाइम ही नहीं है, टाइम ही नहीं मिला. फिर दे ज्वाइन इन फॉर एट 7th month 8th month कि अभी हमें नॉर्मल डिलीवरी करनी है. सो ऐसा ये सीन होता है. मेंटल हेल्थ तो वो सोचते भी नहीं. एंड फिर पोस्ट डिलीवरी दे स्ट्रगल विथ पोस्टपार्टम डिप्रेशन.
I don't.
So this is very common thing we are noticing nowadays. So postpartum depression, कि जैसे बेबी हो जाता है, एवरीबडी इज फोकस इज ऑन बेबी, मदर इज कम्प्लीटली इग्नोर्ड. हर डाइट इज थोड़ा सा टेकन केयर बट हर अदर थिंग्स आर इग्नोर्ड. सो अगेन दैट पोस्टपार्टम डिप्रेशन कम्स. सो ये एक सीक्वेंस बन गया है. मेंटल हेल्थ से धीरे 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 करके बिल्टअप होता है, मतलब लूज होना बिल्टअप होता है. सो लूज 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 लास्ट में जब बेबी हो जाता है तब बहुत बड़ा डिप्रेशन जैसे चीज उन्हें फेस करनी पड़ती है. सो दिस इज ऑल सिनेरियो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग नाउअडेज.
It's a complete timeline. You can say how you can make or break your mental health for women, and
हम्म.
we have to start very young. Uh, when we study evolution, so what we have seen, it's what evolution is. It is. I'm not saying that. So men were the gatherers, like hunting out there, and women were mostly for the reproduction, like so that was the role. I'm talking about lakhs of years back. So the evolution proceeded, and slow roles mostly remained the same. And in the modern time, we have Anuradha and Apoorva, breaking that ceiling and moving up there and working. So Apoorva, you are working in one of the biggest corporate house in the world. So if you would like to share your experience there, and how does it start and what challenges do you face?
So yeah, I've been working in like good MNCs right from very
Yeah.
beginning of my career. I think I am the part of the age group where I can see the change. So
Yes.
we hear all these stories and we get worried that we will be facing them, but I think I'm that lucky group where we are supported in like all the walks of life. So like for example, I remember when I was just switching my company at that time, we were trying to have my daughter, and I didn't tell anyone, but I was really worried. Oh, I'm just switching. What if I get pregnant? What will happen? Will they like? And this is one of my dream companies. I was like, oh, what if they say no? I was so worried. And I think when I joined in May and I conceived my daughter in September. I was still a little worried. I didn't wanted to tell anyone, and I was like, okay, this would be wrong if I don't tell anyone. So I like took a brave step in my mind and told my manager, and they were
Yeah.
like so supportive, so supportive. Like I think I enjoyed my pregnancy, and the biggest part of it was my company. They had nowadays company has like so many benefits. They give you books, they have counseling going on, like what exactly their focus is mental health. I don't know if it happened post COVID, but yes, there is a big focus on mental health, how you will be prepared to have a kid. So I had like daily sessions with almost like weekly sessions with all the different type of doctors, including psychiatrists, including gyna, including lactation consultant, and this is provided by company. This is not like I opted it; it is
Yeah.
compulsory for me to attend them. So it was really wonderful, and the support that we get in these companies, and I know my earlier companies also have these supports. So it's good that people are talking about it and they're helping us here.
Yes, absolutely. That's a very important insight we talked about. Support, and there are many corporates who does look it at as a good thing. They appreciate. Equally, there are big corporates who look it as a threat to their work conditions. Like, they are worried, okay, performance नीचे जाएगा, परफॉर्मेंस कर पाएंगे या नहीं कर पाएंगे, बहुत challenges के थ्रू जाना पड़ेगा, ऐसा बहुत से situations में हमने देखा भी है. So have you been through such challenge anywhere, like थोड़ा tough हुआ है कहीं, not just because of this but in general being a woman?
Uh, I will say hota hai, like it's there. It's we can't
Yeah,
ignore it. I've not faced it very like firsthand, but
yeah.
like I know I've seen places, especially when women are judged. Like
Hmm.
there's something which happened when you are like there's some technical roles. Nowadays it's shifting, but when it comes to technical roles, women are judged. When it comes to like women, so basically it's an us. When we work with a lot of passion. For us, oh, let's do it. We will work hard. We will just try to do that. As I told you, right? We build that pressure in our mind. So we work very passionately, very emotionally. And this is sometimes being seen in a very wrong way, because if I'm saying something, oh, you're just being emotional. Oh, this is not like, why are you being aggressive? It's not like we are trying to be aggressive. We are just trying to make you understand that where we are coming from. So, but just because you are a woman and just because you're saying this like in a bit emotional way, oh, you are being aggressive. While I've seen guys doing that, they are very aggressive, but within guys, no one will say anything. And as soon as there's a woman sitting there, the tone will change, the moment everything will change. Like within guys, it's even if I have seen meetings where they are like guys, like 10, 8, 9 guys sitting, they're laughing, they're having fun. As soon as you will get a woman there, they become so formal. They will think twice what they are saying, as if we are just like here to like, I don't know what we are trying to do there.
Gossip. Yeah.
Yeah, that you face every day, but you're so used to it that it doesn't bother you anymore. And but yeah, there's a judgment that goes along with you, and especially as you said, like being if you are pregnant, if you're close to pregnant. It fortunately didn't happen with me, but I know it happened with like people. Okay, she's getting late, she will be late, she will be taking care of daughter, your priority will become a daughter, so let's give you a project where there are two people and things like that. But one thing I wanted to say, you leave it on a woman, like she will there she will work hard to prove it that yes, we can do it. So you I can see that the way I was working before my daughter and the way I'm working now is way different, because I myself want to prove that I can do it. So
Wow. Yes.
it's not like you don't have to worry about it, but yes, they are worried.
Yes. Yes. I definitely need to come to you after asking Anuradha about what changed after your daughter. So definitely, Anuradha, when you use the term PCOD, after every, like, if there are five female clients visiting to our services, psychological services, so at least one or two they have this PCOD, and it has been a lifestyle, I think. So
Yes.
can you explain PCOD in brief, what it is, what are the symptoms about it, and why does it happen at first place?
Why does it happen is the big question,
Yeah.
because nowadays the activity, physical activity is restricted. We are
Hmm.
sitting at one place, and being a homeopath, when we are looking at the issue PCOD, So it is polycystic ovarian syndrome. What the function of ovary is to produce one egg per month. So in PCOD, many eggs are produced. So and there are cysts in it. So because of this, first thing changes is your cycle. Your period get either there are many things
early or
like
delay. Mm.
अर्ली होता है, किसी का लेट होता है, किसी का फ्लो ज़्यादा होता है, किसी का पेन ज़्यादा होता है. सो सिम्टम्स आर मैनी, बट हैम्परिंग विद पीरियड इज द सिंगल वर्ड,
Biggest
लाइक
pro.
पीरियड
Yeah.
गॉट डिस्टर्ब. उसके
Mm-hmm.
बाद फिजिकल लेवल पे साइंस जो आते हैं वो है वेट गेन, फ्लफीनेस एक सबसे कॉमन
Mm-hmm.
सिम्टम है. उसके बाद एक हिर्सुटिज्म कहते हैं इसे, बिकॉज
Mm-hmm.
देयर इज हार्मोनल चेंजेस इन योर ओवरी एंड your uterus. The hormones are disturbed, so that leads to hirsutism. Hirsutism is extra hair growth on your face, on your body. So that again, the look got matter. Her look, her size, both are hampered along with her period. So
Yeah.
ये तीन बेसिक सिम्टम्स दिखते हैं. रीजन इसका होने का ये है कि सबसे ज्यादा तो एक्टिविटी स्टॉप होने की वजह से होता है. एक मेंटल
Mm-hmm.
रीजन भी है. When you are a homeopath and looking at the case, the mental reason is suppression of identity, we can say. ठीक है, when the identity of a lady or a girl is questioned, it comes to, जैसे female reproductive organ is a thing where the symptoms are we are seeing the signs and symptoms on it. क्योंकि उसकी फेमिनाइन आइडेंटिटी को कोई क्वेश्चन करता है तो उसका मेंटल, मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन कर रही हूँ, उसका इम्पैक्ट उसके फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन पे दिखता है. तो ये पीसीओडी इज इसका एक बहुत इजी आउटकम बोल सकते हैं. सो
Mm.
ये होता है. सो इतने सारे चेंजेस के साथ मेंटल लेवल भी डिस्टर्ब है, फिजिकल लेवल भी डिस्टर्ब है, अपीयरेंस भी डिस्टर्ब है, दैट इज सोशल लेवल भी उसका
Yes.
हैम्पर है. सो इसीलिए वो लेडी बहुत डिस्टर्ब रहती है. सो ये
Yes.
पीसीओडी रीजन हो गया और उसके साइन सिम्टम्स हो गए.
Okay. Okay. So, like, वो ट्रीट कर सकते हैं और ट्रीटेबल है, और वो कंप्लीटली उसको, ये भी लाइक वी कैन ट्रीट इट कंप्लीटली, राइट?
वी कैन ट्रीट इट. सो उसका ट्रीटमेंट सबसे बेस्ट ये है कि स्टार्ट वॉकिंग. सिंपल थिंग इज
अच्छा.
स्टार्ट वॉकिंग. सबसे पहले वॉकिंग स्टार्ट करो. उसके बाद वॉकिंग का भी टाइम फिक्स कर लो. मॉर्निंग इवनिंग 21 मिनट के लिए आप वॉक करो, फास्ट
हम्म.
वॉकिंग करो. तो वो आपका वेट जैसे जैसे रिड्यूस होता है वैसे वैसे आपके सिम्टम्स कम होना स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं. आपके पीरियड रेगुलर होना स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं. वंस योर पीरियड इज रेगुलर, तो सिस्ट विल धीरे धीरे वो डिसॉल्व होना स्टार्ट होता है. सो एक
Yes.
वॉकिंग इसका सोल्यूशन है. उसके
हम्म.
बाद एक सोल्यूशन है, आप योगा करो. योगा में
हम्म.
कुछ आसन है जो स्पेसिफिकली फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन के लिए होते हैं.
हम्म.
So you go for that asanas, you go for
Okay.
pranayam, you go
हम्म.
for meditation. आपका मेंटल लेवल अगर स्टेबल होता है along with the physical activity, तो सारे सिम्टम्स रिवर्स होना स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं. सो आपको
ओके. ओके.
धीरे 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 फिर रिजल्ट दिखेगा इसका.
शायद लास्ट में हम योगा पे जरूर आएंगे, और क्या कैसे कर सकते हैं, थोड़ा कुछ स्पेसिफिक अगर हो सकता है तो वो हम डेफिनेटली बताएंगे. Apurva, coming back to you, you're a senior product manager and you're at a responsible position, and you are interacting with different kind of people every day. How you see as a well-being at workplace, and how much you try to cultivate that kind of an environment for overall well-being, particularly of women, if you have with you.
So basically, as I told you, right, I know each and every woman have this mental pressure that they build on themselves. They work very aggressively, they work very passionately, and if things don't work out, then there's a
Mm-hmm.
reaction. I've
Okay.
seen that women in workplace reacts more compared to
Mm-hmm.
men because the passion that we carry with ourselves. So for me, whenever I get chance, I try to try to go behind those words, which is like that's what we need to do. Like, and this is what even promoted in my company, that if someone is, you can see someone being like, there's two type of aggression that you can see. One is someone being shunned, So they're trying to say something, then they completely like move away from the meeting. They're not talking anything suddenly. Then you know that there's something wrong with her. Or and there's another way that someone, which is like a very common way, when someone is aggressively trying to push something and not listening. So in both the cases, we have a habit that we shut down the meeting. We can say, okay, let's wrap up. Let's discuss it again. Go back, have a one-on-one meeting, talk to them what it is about. There are lot many times there are issues where they are facing something in a workplace. They are facing, they're not being listened, they are not being understand. So, but if you, as a woman, if you go and talk to them, and you can see that this is, you have been there sometime in your life, so that actually connects, and that let them open up with you. So we
Yes.
utilize, like at least in my company, we utilize that. Even my manager says, okay, he's there in meeting. Okay, she's seen something wrong. Why don't you go talk to her? Now you can take, oh, I'm a woman. That's why you're sending me. It's not like that, because you can understand what they're going through. So that's why they want you to talk first. Then you come back and you say, okay, I think this is what can happen here, and this is what you can work with her. And then the manager is supposed to take that action to make her feel comfortable. Like there have been incidents when someone just came to know that they are getting pregnant, and they are worried that their good projects might go. Like for example, I had a problem. I was really worried to like not work for 6 months. I'm a person who checked my mails when I was getting married, like just before the ceremony and all. Like let me just have a great look, because I feel FOMO. There's a new term which we say FOMO, like
Yes.
in working, like it's FOMO, so FOMOW, like you fear of
Okay.
missing out in work. So
Oh,
this is very common for us, like you feel that. So for me, not working 6 months created a lot of like mental pressure on me. I was worried about my appraisal. I was worried, oh my god, I have such a good project, I will leave that, what will happen? And I remember I had like a lot of friends in my company, a lot of women who came to me and who said, "Oh, it's okay. We felt that, but it's good, you know." And then my manager talked to me about it, and I felt good that it was handled in that way. So we try to do that.
absolutely. Second, very important and in very brief, what exactly changed before your daughter and after your daughter? Like, the work and the
Uh,
life.
so she jumps in my meeting. So there have been
That's sweet.
incidents where I have to like call it out that I have my daughter with me. She will be there. So that's very common thing that happens.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I think mostly it becomes little bit difficult to manage the work and the daughter, especially in this age. But I remember my
Hmm.
manager when I joined, he said me one words which is like very important, and I think that's every girl should know is things get easier with your kid. As you move forward, the phases is gone and the phases becomes easier to handle. Like initially I had to leave my meeting and feed her, and
Hmm.
now it's easy, like I can just give her some games and she can play around. So things get easier, so you just need to calm down and let it be. But yeah, it's the difficult part is to juggle work, be sincere in the work, at the same time be sincere with your daughter. So that's the difficult part.
Yes. So here I would like to appreciate one thing, like man, it's for everyone's and particularly for you. First of all, you both are working. You both are daughter. You both are mother. You are both are wife also. And it's not. I'm not going to say, oh, you are doing really good. You are doing actually superb. Like we all know there are certain challenges everybody faces. It's not just women, but men every day. But the amount of changes that a woman go through in her whole lifetime, it's really really, the quantum is big compared to the physical changes with men. Anuradha, coming to you, there are also women whom we call homemakers,
Yes.
and unfortunately when we say appreciate, so बहुत बार appreciate सिर्फ अरे वो लड़की काम करती है, she works out, she goes out, she works in a company. But what about the women, the ladies who are working in the house 24/7, and they also go through certain challenges. They have mental trauma, they have mental health overlooked upon. So आर देयर एनी सर्टन केसेस कि होम मेकर्स है लेकिन काफी स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशंस में रहते हैं, और क्या इश्यूज उनके होते हैं?
होम मेकर जब हम लोग बोलते हैं तो हमारे पास तीन टाइप के होम मेकर है। द वन हु इज वर्किंग एंड मैनेजिंग होम, ठीक है,
यस।
ये एक टाइप हो गया। सेकेंड टाइप ये हो गया कि दोज हु वर वर्किंग, जॉब चल रहा था अच्छे से, बट बिकॉज ऑफ किड और बिकॉज ऑफ द फैमिली और द हस्बैंड्स जॉब तो शिफ्ट करना पड़ा, तो काम छोड़ दिया। तो ये सबसे डेंजरस टाइप का होम मेकर है। उसके बाद लास्ट वन है जो खुद से डिसाइड करता है कि नहीं, आई विल बी अ होम मेकर। सो ऐसे ये जो सेकेंड और थर्ड ऑप्शन है हमारे पास, उसमें से सेकेंड इज मोस्ट डेंजरस बिकॉज दैट लेडी हैज लिव्ड हर जॉब। उसके बाद वो घर संभालती है, फ्रॉम मॉर्निंग टू नाइट शी इज वर्किंग, देर इज नो ब्रेक फॉर हर। शी हैज टू वेक अप इन द मॉर्निंग, टिफिन बनाओ, खाना बनाओ, ब्रेकफास्ट बनाओ, घर साफ सफाई करो। उसके बाद हर जो खुद के जो चैलेंजेस है वो उसको इग्नोर करती है टोटली। एंड शी इज इन द फ्रस्ट्रेशन कि मैंने मेरा जॉब छोड़ दिया, मैंने मेरा सब कुछ छोड़ दिया, एंड आई एम डूइंग दिस एंड आई एम नॉट गेटिंग एनी अप्रिसिएशन। ये सबसे ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट करता है उसके मेंटल हेल्थ पे। आई एम हैविंग वन पेशेंट, शी इज हैविंग माइग्रेन। सो बहुत ज़्यादा इश्यू नहीं है, बट बिकॉज़ शी इज़ नॉट डूइंग एनी वर्क, तो उसको ऐसा लगता है कि आई एम सफरिंग फ्रॉम दिस, सफरिंग फ्रॉम दैट, शी इज़ जस्ट विजिटिंग डॉक्टर्स।
हम्म।
सिम्पटम्स बहुत कम है, लेकिन नंबर ऑफ डॉक्टर्स शी इज़ विजिटिंग डेंटिस्ट, स्किन, उसके बाद शी इज़ विजिटिंग होम्योपैथ, देन शी इज़ विजिटिंग ऑर्थो, शी इज़ विजिटिंग इवन फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट, एवरीबडी शी इज़ विजिटिंग। So this is her mental instability, what it is showing कि she is instably, मतलब mentally she is unstable and she is showing it in this way.
यस
उसके
यस।
उसको क्योर नहीं मिल सकता है, उसको उसको अपने मेंटल हेल्थ पे वर्क करना पड़ेगा, और ये चीज समझना मुश्किल है या फिर उनको समझाना भी मुश्किल है। सो अभी मेंटल हेल्थ अवेयरनेस में एक बहुत बड़ा बूम बोल सकते हैं हम लोग। जैसे कोरोना पास आउट हुआ है उसके बाद मेंटल हेल्थ अवेयरनेस में बहुत बड़ा, लोगों में एक बहुत बड़ा जागरूकता आई है कि मेंटल हेल्थ क्या होता है। फीमेल में भी उसके रिलेटेड अवेयरनेस आया है कि मेंटल हेल्थ एक चीज है, उसके लिए हमें कुछ सोचना चाहिए, हमें खुद के लिए कुछ करना चाहिए। सो ये थोड़ा अवेयरनेस अभी आया है सोसाइटी में, बट
यस
स्टिल लॉट टू कम, लाइक वी नीड
यस
मोर अवेयरनेस। सो
यस
इसकी अभी जरूरत है, एंड यू आर डूइंग दैट जॉब।
yes. No, appreciate, and people like you are supporting and appreciating this best wish with your best wishes. So that's first of all is a great thing. During our college days, we had a subject sociology, and so as a psychologist and a student of sociology as well, there was one thing particularly discussed: the role reversal. After a certain age in a house, हमारी दादी या नानी, ये जो लोग होते हैं, ये बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट होते जाते हैं, और दादा और नाना जो होते हैं ना, वो थोड़ा सॉफ्ट हो जाते हैं।
हो जाते हैं।
तो इसमें एक बोला जाता है कि बायोलॉजिकल पर्सपेक्टिव भी है, और फॉर विमेन वो जो है एक फेज होता है जिसे हम मेनोपॉज कहते हैं, और अनफॉर्चुनेटली वो चीज भी नहीं डिस्कस की जाती है या उसको आइडेंटिफाई किया जाता है कि व्हाट द इश्यूज आर एंड व्हाई इट माइट बी क्रॉपिंग अप। तो ये मेनोपॉज किस एज में आता है, और उसके इम्पैक्ट क्या होते हैं मेंटल हेल्थ पे?
मीनोपॉज का एज 45 to 50 अराउंड होता है।
हम्म
अ, उसका सिम्टम्स हम बोल सकते हैं कि स्टॉपिंग ऑफ योर पीरियड्स,
हम्म
परमानेंट स्टॉपिंग ऑफ योर पीरियड, वो एक साथ एकदम से नहीं होता, इट इज ग्रेजुअल प्रोसेस, धीरे धीरे होता है। एंड विद द पासिंग ऑफ टाइम ये मीनोपॉज भी अर्ली हो गया है। पहले जो 45 में आता था, नाउ पीपल आर फेसिंग इट एट 40। सो 40 इज वेरी अर्ली। इसमें हमारे सारे हार्मोन्स डिस्टर्ब हो जाते हैं। सो इसमें फिजिकल सिम्टम्स तो काफी आते हैं, लाइक हॉट फ्लैशेस आते हैं, टायर्डनेस होता है, मोस्ट ऑफ द ब्लड रिलेटेड जो इश्यूज है, लाइक hypertension, somebody faces issues with their kidney, so ये सारी issues आती है with ladies। so इसको हम बस symptoms करके देखते हैं, इसको overall हम menopause करके नहीं देखते हैं। we look it as hypertension हो गया, डायबिटीज हो गया, बट ये इम्पैक्ट है menopause का, वो बहुत से लोग अप्रिशिएट नहीं कर पाते इसको। उसके बाद मेंटल लेवल पे बहुत चेंजेस आते हैं, बिकॉज सडनली सारे हार्मोन स्टॉप हो जाते हैं। सो फेमिनाइन इश्यूज स्टॉप हो जाती है सारी, और फिर एग्रेसिवनेस, चिड़चिड़ापन, एंगर, ये सारी चीज़ें बढ़ती है। एंजाइटी भी बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाती है। सो आपने देखा होगा 40, 45, 50 तक के जो भी लेडीज होती है, दे आर मोर एग्रेसिव। कभी कभी बहुत गुस्सा आता है उनको, एकदम से चिढ़ जाते, एकदम से चिल्ला देते हैं, या फिर एकदम से रो देते हैं। देर आर एकदम
Yes.
आउटबर्स्ट ऑफ द इमोशंस होता है उनके अंदर। सो ये सारे हमें सिम्टम्स दिखाई देते हैं उसमें।
यस। सो मैं एक एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करना चाहता हूँ। सो नेचुरोपैथी इंस्टीट्यूट का ये एक एक्सपीरियंस है, नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ नेचुरोपैथी जो है वहाँ पे। सो देयर वाज वन लेडी who came with certain physical issues. She has been going through certain physical issues, and husband and her son was with her for the consultation. So when the doctor was consulting, so husband and son said that we tell her to take a rest little bit. ओके, आप बहुत ज्यादा काम करते हो तो आप इनको बताइए कि थोड़ा आप रेस्ट लिया करो। There, the naturopath, the doctor was there. She told us, it's not possible at this age कि आप उसको सडनली बोलो कि आप रेस्ट करो, आप कंप्लीटली स्टॉप करो एक्टिविटी, बिकॉज व्हाट शी हैज बीन डूइंग फॉर लास्ट 30-40 years, इट्स नॉट दैट इजी टू गिव इट अप। ओके, और मैं ये इसके वजह से शेयर करना चाहता हूं क्योंकि ये चीज अगर हम पहले से ही उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करें, थोड़ा एक रोल रिवर्सल हो, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो, थोड़ा काम में हाथ बटाए सब ने घर में जो है, वो एक एक पर्टिकुलर व्यक्ति के ऊपर ज्यादा बोझ ना बने। तो ये सब चीजों के ऊपर अगर हम पहले से ही ध्यान देंगे तो प्रॉब्लम ये लेवल तक नहीं जाएगी कि हमें अगर रेस्ट करने बोलना है तो उनको वो रेस्ट नहीं करे। तो whenever they feel they want to take a rest for themselves, they should be able to take a rest। और ये शायद से हर घर की कहानी है। आप हम मम्मी लोगों को बोलिए कि आप थोड़ा शांत बैठो, आप काम मत करो, हम करते, बट उनको वो अनकंफर्टेबल हो जाता, बिकॉज फॉर देम it's their territory, and for them sitting, it's kind of a weak spot, राइट। सो ये चीजों में बहुत हम सब ने ही पहले से ही वैसे ही ग्रूमिंग होनी चाहिए, एक थोड़ा रेस्ट भी मिलना चाहिए। कमिंग बैक टू यू अपूर्वा, यू वर्क इन अ बिग कॉर्पोरेट, एंड उसमें एक बहुत जरूरी सवाल मुझे लगता है कि पूछना चाहिए कि कम्युनिकेशन ये कितना बड़ा रोल प्ले करता है टू कन्वे a mental health or to resolve a mental health issues at workplace?
Uh, I think communication, it's very difficult to make people understand what is mental health. It's very subjective. It's very
Yes.
subjective because for someone it could be like, okay, yeah, it's okay, it's normal because I've seen my mom working, I've seen everyone. So for them it's not a big thing. But suppose someone is coming from a like a very like a very strict background where they didn't have much, like mom and dad is not working that much in this type of environment. But then when they come here, there's a whole different situation that these guys face, right? So it's very subjective. So it's not like something is for me, issue for me is an issue for someone else. So a communication is important. Just saying that yes, you have that issue, the acceptance, what Anuradha just told, right? I have faced it because I've been suffering from PCOD. And I think the stress is the biggest thing that you have, because your stress is like affect your cycle, and then the cycle again impact your PCOD. So I can understand
Yes.
that, but for me to accept that stress itself was a big step. That so so communication is very important. The awareness, make them understand it's okay, there's something wrong with you, but it's not like a end of the world. Let's see
Mhm.
how we can. And most of the time they say, okay, there's something wrong with you and let's do this to correct it. I feel like let's do this is a way longer. First, let's accept that you have this problem. Let's accept, let's start living with it, accept it. Once you have that acceptance, then you will try, like for example, if I have a fever, I accept I have a
Mm-hmm.
fever.
Yeah.
I know, okay, it will go within some time. I don't have unrealistic expectations. I know it will take time. I know it sometimes will leave some other problems with me. So because it's a disease, I know there would be an impact to a disease. But a mental health, we don't see the impact. And
Mm.
in my personal experience, there are a lot of impacts that
Yes.
might
Yes.
you have to live with it in your entire life. So I feel like that acceptance and that understanding is really missing, and that communication
Yes.
needs to be there.
ट्रू ट्रू थैंक यू फॉर दैट और उसमें ही शायद से एक मैं कंटिन्यूशन ये चाहूंगा कि इन अ कॉर्पोरेट बिकॉज यू हैव बीन इन दैट सेक्टर फॉर क्वाइट टाइम नाउ सो what exactly is the need of an hour when we look it from a mental health perspective, mental well-being perspective, and what people like us play a role, what this initiative can make an impact in places where you work in, what kind of impact can be made and how it can be made.
Okay. Uh, and this is like the story of every corporate world. There was nothing called
Yes.
mental health before COVID because I
Uh-huh.
feel like the guys and girls both have space and they had some time. So it was more of a reflection of that like 6 months of sitting that we are coming with mental health. But I don't think that it is just there. So
Okay.
they have one-on-one counseling session, they promote it, but it is just there. No one is actually. I have attended one-on-one counseling session myself once, and it's okay. I didn't like found a very good benefit of it. It's just that okay, yeah, you have this problem, let's do this. Why you don't implement this, and that's it. There's a follow-up, but that's not very like aggressive, or they want to do something about it type of follow-up. There's a
Yes.
change. Yes, they have
Mm.
like the managers becoming more aware. They talk about it as I told you earlier. But I think there needs to be some practical like sessions, and basically like you need to make people aware. You need to understand what their mental health is, how you can work on it. So it needs to be very specific from person to person. You just can't make a generic bucket and let them just say, okay, this is the issue. You can make them aware, and that is required because the other person is might be facing that issue. That is required. But if you really want to work on like your employer's mental health, you need to have that customization person to person. It's a very
Yes.
sensitive. What I feel like is they have this bucket, they have these sessions. You might link to that section, you might not link, but like mental health is very subjective. It depends from person to
Yeah.
person. So it needs to be handled that way. And it's very sensitive. Not everyone will say, okay, like for example, right now she was talking about PCOD. And that happens. There's a lot of sessions I have attended on PCOD. I have faced PCOD my entire life. But sometimes things that she says might strike to me, sometimes it might not strike to me. So the first thing I will think, oh, let me go and talk to her one on one, because that's what you think about mental health. You don't want to ask those questions in the forum, but yeah, if I have like an hour session with her, even one on
Hmm.
one, maybe like regular sessions, it might work for me.
Absolutely. Yes. First of all, appreciate your guts for sharing. You have been through certain things. That itself takes a lot of courage. And congratulations on that you came forward and you shared what you have been through. And definitely, it's an area where I would like to appeal all the mental health professionals, all the professionals who are working in the mental health, that there is this big gap which needs to be filled up, and it has to be impactful. And I think we are doing in that in a very tiny way, but yes, we are trying our level best to do it through this mental health awareness program. Anuradha, coming back to you, Apurva, you are saying something?
Yeah, just
Yes.
sorry, Anuradha, but just
No, no.
wanted to say. So there is a series I watched called Suits. There is this character
Yes.
called Louis Litt. This character was like the one you hate it your entire life. Like you just don't want to work like that. And they have
Yes.
shown in that series how just with that personal mental sessions, that person was the most lovable character at the end of the show. So, and I think that is very practical. So
My
I
God.
like that is
I
one thing I
I
wanted to say that.
I have been watching Suits for last one week, and yes, you see a lot of characters. and you actually feel the Louis Lit is something that the villain character, but at the end you see that's the reality, and that's how you face the world. Yeah, because heroism is one thing, and actually going through it, accepting the flaws and working on that,
Working
that
on
takes
that.
courage. Yes. Anuradha, coming back to you, probably this is the last question that I would like to ask. That when we talk about yoga, yoga is a vast thing. So, something you can share, a glimpse of yoga, which can really impact big time for women on their mental health.
Yes. वी एज अ इंडियन हम लोग ब्लेस्ड है कि हमारे पास योगा जैसी एक थेरेपी है। योगा ये फिजिकल एक्टिविटी नहीं होगी, ये एक थेरेपी है इन ऑल सेंस। ठीक है। सो सबसे पहला तो ये एक फिजिकल एक्टिविटी है। सो सेकंड ये एक ब्रीथिंग एक्सरसाइज है। एंड थर्ड ये मेंटल रिलैक्सेशन है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ मेडिटेशन। सो ये तीनों जब हम कंबाइन करते हैं तो योगा एज अ होल एक्ट करता है। फिजिकली हमें बिकॉज ऑफ स्ट्रेस और बिकॉज ऑफ टेंशन हमारे जो मसल्स है वो स्टिफ हो जाते हैं। सो व्हेन वी परफॉर्म सम आसनास हमें रिलैक्सेशन मिलता है। ठीक है। सो ये फिजिकल लेवल पे स्ट्रेस रिलीविंग करके एक्ट करता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल है, जैसे एक ट्री पोज होता है वृक्षासन। सो इन
Mm.
इसमें हमें एक पैर पे स्टैंड करना होता है, एक पैर और दोनों हाथ ऊपर। सो इफ यू आर एबल टू बैलेंस ऑन योर राइट लेग, सो योर लेफ्ट ब्रेन इज एक्टिवेटेड। देन अगेन व्हेन यू आर स्टैंडिंग ऑन योर लेफ्ट लेग, तो आपका राइट ब्रेन एक्टिवेट होता है अपोजिट। तो ये आपका यहाँ पे एक स्ट्रेस रिलीव करता है। उसके बाद आप प्राणायाम करो। प्राणायाम से आपके जो भी जिसको भी एनजाइटी का प्रॉब्लम है उसे 80 to 90% रिलीफ मिलता है। ठीक है। एनजाइटी में हार्ट रेट बढ़ जाती है, ब्रीथिंग बहुत शैलो हो जाती है, बहुत फास्ट हम लोग ब्रीथ करते हैं। सो इफ यू प्रैक्टिस प्राणायाम ऑन डेली बेसिस तो आपको वो रिलीफ मिलता है, एनजाइटी में रिलीफ मिलता है। आपका जो क्या बोलते हैं उसे, डिप्रेशन तो नहीं बोल सकते, बट एनजाइटी हमारी स्लो डाउन होती है, हार्ट
Slow
रेट
down
स्लो
होती.
डाउन होता है, हमारी ब्रीथिंग डीप हो जाती है। उसके बाद अगर आप मेडिटेशन करते हो तो मेडिटेशन करना ये अपने आप में ही एक अचीवमेंट है, क्योंकि आप उतना टाइम अपने आप को दे के बैठते हो। तो ये भी एक अचीवमेंट है फॉर अ वुमन स्पेसिफिकली, आई एम सेइंग, बिकॉज हम लोग ऐसे टाइम निकाल के खुद के लिए कभी नहीं बैठते पूरे दिन भर में। 24 आवर होता है, पर 24 आवर में हम लोग 1 घंटा भी नहीं देते हैं। इवन इफ वी आर वॉकिंग, वी आर टॉकिंग ऑन फोन, कॉल्स ले रहे हैं हम लोग, बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग, किसी के साथ कुछ ना कुछ कनेक्टिविटी होती है। वी आर इन जिम तो वहां पे भी हम म्यूजिक सुनते रहते हैं या फिर हम लोग कुछ तो करते रहते हैं। बट माइंड को ऐसे एक सेटल्ड अप, एक म्यूजिक थेरेपी भी होती है, आई डोंट मतलब उसको वो ही करती हूँ मैं। बट माइंड को हमारे शांति नहीं मिलती कि हम ब्रीथ कर रहे हैं और सिर्फ माइंड को ऐसे रिलैक्स कर रहे हैं, काम डाउन कर रहे हैं। तो ये सिर्फ मेडिटेशन में होता है, उसके लिए भी हम टाइम नहीं निकालते हैं। सो अभी जो हमने स्टेज वाइज देखा था, जैसे आई टोल्ड यू कि 8 ईयर गर्ल को मैंने देखा है सबसे अर्लीस्ट पीरियड वाला सीन। सो अगर हम ये योगा प्राणायाम मेडिटेशन बहुत अर्ली बच्चों में इनकॉर्पोरेट करते हैं, और जैसे हम दूध पीना या फिर नाश्ता करना एक कंपलसरी थिंग रखते हैं, वैसे ही हमें ये 2-3 चीजें, जैसे प्राणायाम करो डेली 5 मिनट का बैठ के ये करो, ऐसे ये पेरेंट्स ने अगर गर्ल, हम लोग अभी गर्ल के बारे में बात करते हैं। सो अगर उससे स्टार्ट करते हैं कि आप ये टाइम निकालो, तो उसे उस चीज का इम्पोर्टेंस पता चलेगा कि नहीं, मैं अगर अपने लिए टाइम निकाल के बैठती हूँ तो मुझे ये इश्यूज फेस नहीं करने पड़ेंगे। सो ये अगर हम पहले से इसको स्टार्ट करते हैं तो कुछ इम्पैक्ट होगा मेंटल हेल्थ पे। फॉर फीमेल के, दे स्टार्ट गिविंग टाइम टू देमसेल्फ। वो अप्रिशिएट करेगी कि 1 घंटा देने से उनके लाइफ में क्या क्या चेंजेस होते हैं, और
Yes.
वो उसको इनकॉर्पोरेट करेगी। द सेम इज विद कॉर्पोरेट्स। कॉर्पोरेट्स में भी एक फिक्स कंपलसरी टाइम करना चाहिए। जैसे वो 10 मिनट का आपको चाय ब्रेक देते हैं, टी ब्रेक देते हैं, लंच ब्रेक देते हैं, वैसे ही उन्होंने एक योगा ब्रेक भी देना चाहिए। दैट इज द नीड ऑफ द आवर। वो आपके मेंटल हेल्थ को थोड़ा सा रिलैक्स करेगा, थोड़ा सा काम डाउन करेगा, आपकी एंजाइटी स्ट्रेस लेवल को कम करेगा। सो ये एज अ पार्ट ऑफ कल्चर का, कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर अभी सबने स्टार्ट करना चाहिए कि जैसे हम लोग लंच ब्रेक देते हैं, हमें थोड़ा सा चाय ब्रेक कम करके हमें योगा ब्रेक देना चाहिए.
यस, वाओ, इट्स समथिंग बहुत ही होलिस्टिक आपने उसको डिस्क्राइब किया, और शायद सभी लोग इसको फॉलो करने की कोशिश करेंगे जो जो सुन रहे हैं, और हम जितना ले जा सके लोगों तक हम उतनी कोशिश करेंगे. अपूर्वा, we'll need a closing statement from you as well, you know. Yeah, please.
Okay. Uh, a woman is the one who makes or breaks not one home but two homes. And I feel like what Anuradha said, right? If you raise a woman to take care of herself, she sets an example not at her place. She sets an example everywhere, like both are like for the like husband's place, her place, their daughter, their son. So we can accept it, we can ignore it, but we know that it's the woman who makes everyone. Even if it's a man, it's a woman, anyone is done. Like woman is the one who makes them. So if we take care of her, if we like teach her how to take care of herself, she will be the one who will reciprocate it, have the triple effect. So I feel
Yes.
like that's where we need to start with. So if woman is good, everything will follow.
Yes, it is said that if you teach a man, or if you educate a man, this is he will empower himself. But if you teach a woman, or if you educate a woman, she'll like change the fortune of her family itself. So, and we come from a nation, we come from a land, we come from a civilization where we say Bharat Mata, and we should live by our words to it. And at last, I would like to close you with one line. Actually, it's a Marathi poem. The type of poem is known as Fatka. Like, it's been written on the 50th Indian Independence Day by a great poet, Kusumagraj. He is one of the finest in the literature. Swatantra Devatichi Vinavni, the name of the poem is. Like, we are actually talking about our motherland, our Bharat Mata, and the poem is addressed to that. There's one line which says, "Do not keep women in a worshipping position and do not look down upon them. Consider them as your equals, accepting and acknowledging all sort of differences we have, but consider it as equal, and let's move together, and let's work for overall well-being of women, men, and everybody here." So Anuradha and Apoorva, I really appreciate for your time here on the show, and I'm sure together we are going to make a difference, and let's embark on that journey. And once again, thank you for coming to our show as a guest. And I would like to take this opportunity again to thank our listeners who are always supporting us in this initiative. Thank you so much, and keep supporting Mental Health Awareness Program 2023, and stay tuned to Punekar News YouTube channel. Thank you, Anuradha. Thank you, Apoorva. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.